Hi guys, Fired Up Prepper here, and I've got a very important video that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I finally, it's one of those preps that I know a lot of people don't think about. So let's talk about what's in the bag. What came in from eBay. What this is Pro KI Potassium Iodide. 65 milligrams, 30 tablets for radiation protection. I don't know how many of you are concerned about the chance of nuclear war, the chances of nuclear meltdowns. You know, they just had a recent scare during the floods that one of them may have, was going to be, what would you say, you know, losing the train of thought on it. But anyway, so it's a serious thing. And what these tablets do for you, I've been meaning to buy some potassium iodide for a long time. And I finally did it. I was on eBay. I was looking around. And I found this deal. It was two of the 30 count bottles for $4.99. $5.99. $5.99, yeah, $5.99 per bottle. So, I mean, per two. So I bought 4 altogether. I got 8 total bottles. So I got 240 total tablets. So if you don't know what potassium iodide does, let's talk about that real quick. I'm not an expert. I'm learning. I purchased this book a few years back from the recommendation of, Viking Preparedness, Pastor Joe Fox. I purchased his book and this book here that he recommended. It's called Nuclear War Survival Skills by Creston Kearney, Kearny, the Red Dog Nuclear Survival series. Never opened it up to read it until recently. And I love the way it reads. It's very easily understandable. It's not something that goes over your head and you can't understand what it's talking about. So let's talk about what it says about nuclear radiation. Page 154, it says prevention of thyroid damage from radioactive iodines. There is no medicine that will effectively prevent nuclear radiations from damaging the human body cells that they strike. However, assault of the elements potassium and iodine taken orally, even in very small quantities, a half hour to 1 day before radioactive iodines are swallowed or inhaled, prevents about 99% of the damage to the thyroid gland that otherwise would result. The thyroid gland readily absorbs both non-radioactive and radioactive iodine, and normally it retains much of this element in either or both forms. When ordinary non-radioactive iodine is made available in the blood for absorption by the thyroid gland before any radioactive iodine is made available, the gland will absorb and retain so much that it becomes saturated with non-radioactive iodine. When saturated, the thyroid can absorb only about 1% as much additional iodine, including radioactive forms that later may become available in the blood. Then it is said to be blocked. Excess iodine in the blood is rapidly eliminated by the action of the kidneys. An excess of ordinary iodine retained in the thyroid gland is harmless, but quite small amounts of radioactive iodine retained in the thyroid eventually will give such a large radiation dose to thyroid cells that abnormalities are likely to result. These would include loss of thyroid function, nodules in the thyroid, or thyroid cancer. 64 Marshall Islanders on Rongelap Atoll were accidentally exposed to radioactive fallout produced by a large H-bomb test explosion on Bikini Atoll about 100 miles away. 22 of them developed thyroid abnormalities beginning 9 years later. In the 2 days before they were taken out of the fallout area, these completely uninformed natives living essentially outdoors had received estimated whole-body gamma ray doses of about 175 R from the fallout all around them. They absorbed most of the radioactive iodine retained by the thyroid glands as a result of eating and drinking fallout-contaminated food and water during the 2 days of exposure. Because of unusual environmental conditions at the time of the fallout deposition, some of the retained radioactive iodine may have come from the air they breathed. An extremely small and inexpensive daily dose of the preferred non-radioactive potassium salt, potassium iodide Ki, if taken a half hour to 1 day before exposure to radioactive iodine, will reduce later absorption of radioactive iodine by the thyroid to only 1% of what the absorption would be without this preventive measure. Extensive experimentation and study have led to the Federal Drug Administration's approval of 130 milligram tablets for this preventive prophylactic use only. A 130 milligram dose provides the same daily amount of iodine as does each tablet that English authorities for years have placed in the hands of the police near nuclear power plants for distribution to the surrounding in the very unlikely event of a major nuclear accident. It is quite likely that a similar-sized dose in a Russian individual standard first aid packet, according to Comprehensive Soviet 1969 Civil Defense Handbook, the first aid packet contains anti-radiation tablets and anti-vomiting tablets, potassium iodine, and epinephrine. Prophylactic use of potassium iodide in peacetime nuclear accidents. In March 1979, no 130 milligram potassium iodide tablets were available in the United States. Therefore, when the 1979 accident that killed no one occurred at the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant in Pennsylvania, 259,000 small bottles of saturated aqueous solution of potassium iodide were produced and rushed to the vicinity of the accident. An equal number of medicine droppers were also supplied. It was not necessary to distribute the prophylactic medicine, however, because the plant's containment system prevented the discharge of hazardous quantities of radioactive iodine. Anyway, there's a lot of information there. So, look, here's the thing. Not being a fearmonger, not saying there's going to be nuclear war, but there's some pretty serious things going on. And let me read real quick the instructions for this. So the instructions are: for maximum effectiveness, use immediately following any release of radiation from nuclear weapon, power plant accident, or other radiation hazard. Use only as directed by physician. Pro-Ki is best consumed with food or milk if possible. The protective effect of Ki lasts approximately 24 hours. Recommended daily doses. Adults and adolescents over 150 pounds, including pregnant and breastfeeding women, 2 tablets. That's per day only, just 2 tablets per day at the same time. Children over 60 pounds to 3 to 18 years, 1 tablet per day. Children under 60 pounds, 1 month to 3 years, a half a tablet. Infants, birth less than 1 month of age, crush 1/4 tablet and mix with milk, formula, or water. Now, what this does, if you caught from what I read really quick, I don't want this to get too long, is it fills the thyroid up with the potassium iodide so that if you are exposed to the radiation, either through food, water, or breathing, depending on how close you are and what happened, that there's no room for the bad stuff to get in. like they said, only like 1%. That's why you want to take this. So anyway, think about it. It's very affordable. It's on eBay. I'm not getting paid for this. I just went and got it because I wanted it for myself and my family. So anyway, think about the nuclear thing. There's talk about it all the time now. I don't know, you know, President Trump says, you know, him and Putin have a good relationship, but Trump don't take no crap and Putin don't take no crap. And there's things going on now where, you know, Putin's going into Venezuela. You know, the American government is saying they don't recognize the guy who is the president there now, that they recognize this other guy. Russia doesn't want America being in on it, but that's kind of our territory, our hemisphere, as they say. Russia shouldn't be messing with it. Russia's warned us that they have, you know, like nuclear subs that can't be detected, that can, like, could be surrounding us right now on the Atlantic, Pacific, Gulf Coast, whatever, in the water, just staged to throw off nuclear warheads. So, guys, we don't know what's going to happen or if it's going to happen. And I'm not being, and this video may get taken down because they think it's fear-mongering or whatever. They don't want the information to get to the people. There's a lot of, not editing is not the word I'm, anyway, there's a lot of people not wanting this information to get out that are in the higher-ups of these companies. So, anyway, there's many kinds on there. Get on there and study. I found this one. I found this deal on it. And I just think it's kind of neat that this says Pro-KI, and it says it in here too. And I didn't know that it said it in here too until after it came in, and I decided I wanted to do the video. And then I was reading, I went to find what it said about preparing and the potassium iodide and everything, and I read it, and I'm like, wow, it's actually mentioning not the brand, but the product itself in there. So I hope that helps. I hope it makes you think. Get on there on eBay. Get you some for you and your family. It's very affordable. Look, what do they say? It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. It could happen tonight. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen a month from now, a year from now. It may never happen. But if you got it, you got it. And you're ready. And your family's ready. And fill your thyroid up with what's in these, and you're not going to absorb that radioactive. So anyway, hope that helps. Fired Up Prepper, get down below, give me your thoughts. Do you already have some? And look, this book is incredible. I'm urging you to get it and start reading it. It talks. There's chapters in here on expedient shelter furnishings, on 6 different shelters that you can build, like really quick, really fast to have prepared, you know. It's amazing what's in here. And like I said, it's very easily understood. It doesn't go over your head. And anyway, it's Nuclear War Survival Skills by Crescent Kearney. And I believe I got it off Amazon. So just put that in there and it'll come up and you'll have it and you can read it. Get you some potassium iodide. You're good to go. Guys, don't be scared. Be prepared. Just do what you can with what you got where you are right now. And little by little. So I've got some more videos coming up. I'm also on Patreon. I'm doing that because I don't think Patreon will not edit. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway. You know, I can put it on there and I don't have to worry about them shutting it down. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I know it got a little long. I hope you made it till the end. If you did, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share it. Twitter, Facebook, whatever social medias you've got. Hit the little alarm so you get updates because I'm going to have videos coming out like crazy. I'm also going to do a video and let you know what's been going on, why I haven't been doing videos. Anyway. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next one. Fired up.